Hello. So first YouTube video clip, so you have to excuse my amateur camera skills. I'm Joel, I live in Melbourne, and this video is about a motorbike, motorbikes, but specifically an Aprilia RSV1000R that I'm about to sell, and it's my baby. So this is kind of like a video obituary to a bike that I've had for a few years now and really love. I thought I'd get down some of my thoughts on it. It's probably not a video for you guys, actually, you know, the wider biking community. It's more for me. It's quite selfish, but I just thought I'd put it on as a public video. This is more of a memory point for me. I've had this bike now. It's the Aprilia RSV1000R. 2003, the V-twin, with all the lovely Olin suspension, Brembo's brakes, carbon fibre everywhere, and a bit of a Flash Gordon paint scheme. I'll show it to you in a minute. I've had this bike now for, it's got about 5 years or so. I'm in Melbourne in Australia at the moment, but from the UK originally, and came via way of New Zealand. I actually bought the bike in New Zealand in Auckland. A friend of mine saw it in a shop. It was second hand, and knew that it was a bike that I'd always been talking about getting, and so he told me about it. I went in, saw it, fell in love, and bought it. Obviously not a brand new bike, but quite hard to find these days. And it was a bike that I'd always wanted. I saw it first when it was launched at I think it was the Birmingham NEC back in the UK. And it was one of the few superbikes at the time that really felt comfortable to me. I'm about 6'2", got quite long legs, and it's quite a tall bike. And it just felt relatively comfortable for a sports bike. At the time I was quite young, could no way afford the bike or the insurance, and so it was a bit of a pipe dream. But now, well, you know, fast forward a few years and found myself in Auckland, and I could just about afford it, so went for it. And it's been a great bike. It's fast, it's punchy, it's a 1000cc V-twin. I think they were knocking out about 130 to 140 horsepower at the crank, something like that. So by today's standards, probably not a very fast bike, but relatively short geared, and so pretty punchy. And certainly I've had it out on track since coming to Australia, Phillip Island. I've been around the Grand Prix circuit there, and it certainly didn't embarrass itself, even down the long back straight there. I was surprised by how many of the newer, officially more powerful bikes it was happily keeping up with. Now obviously it was designed for the track. I've used it every day. I've used it as my day. In fact, I don't have a car personally. My wife has a car, but I don't have a car. I use it every day to get back and forward to work. And when I got it, I was kind of wondering how that was going to handle that job, because it's not designed for that at all. And being a big V-twin, it's a little bit lumpy at lower speeds, and you have to kind of smooth out the drive through the corner sometimes with a little bit of clutch. But it's been absolutely fine. It's been bulletproof. What have I had go wrong with it? I kind of killed the first couple of batteries that I had with it. It's quite a high compression engine, so it doesn't like repeated start attempts. You need to learn the little knack to start it first time, otherwise you can kill the battery. And so I put a trickle charger on it, but since I've done that, not had any problems with the battery, and that's kind of been it. Regular servicing, and nothing's gone wrong. And I've had it shipped from from New Zealand to Australia when I moved here a couple of years ago, and it seemed to handle, even being manhandled and chucked in a crate and flown or shipped across the Tasman, which was impressive for an Italian bike, particularly. Not even had any electrical gremlins. So anyway, I've had it for a few years, as I said, and finally decided that it was time to upgrade. Why did I decide that? Because I went foolishly for a test ride on a new Yamaha R1 and was blown away by that thing. It's probably fair to say I have ridden other newer bikes in between, you know, buying the Aprilia and now. I've never ever felt compelled to change it. I've never actually found there's been anything out there good enough for me to want to spend the extra money on something else. I've test ridden the new RSV4. Not the 2015 one, but the previous one. And fantastic bike, definitely a better bike. Amazing engine, brakes were better, handled better, but it was like not a night and day difference, definitely a difference, but I was still perfectly happy with mine. I've ridden, a friend of mine has or had an RC8R KTM. Again, beautiful bike, definitely better, faster and better handling than mine, but incrementally so. Not a night and day difference. And that's always been what I found, is I found the Aprilia to be so damn good, and just exactly what I wanted, that it's never really crossed my mind to change it. And then I went for a test ride on the new Yamaha R1, and wow, that is a night and day difference. And that suddenly made the Aprilia feel old. I felt sorry for it, actually. I came back off the test ride on the R1, and it felt like I'd been riding a spaceship. It was incredible. And the engine had character, which is important for me. That's one of the reasons I got a V-twin, because I like the rumble and the fact that the engine's got character, even at lower speeds. And the Yamaha had that, but it had so much else as well that I finally decided that, do you know what, it is time to upgrade. Suddenly my bike felt old and, dare I say it, a little bit tired, poor baby. And so after a couple of weeks thinking about it and hoping that the feeling would go away, and it didn't, I decided that's it. I've got to trade in the Aprilia and move to the new Yamaha R1. So I've got 1 week now left with the Aprilia. I'm going to make the most of it, hence this video. I thought I'd get my thoughts down on the beauty before I part my ways with it. Got 1 more week with it. I'm going to be using it for work. Probably heading out for a bit of fun on the weekend, and then I'll be trading it in next Saturday for the new R1 and bringing that home. And I guess I'll do a little video of my experience with that as well. So anyway, I'll take you around the actual bike. Been blathering on for a few minutes, but as I said, it's not for you guys, it's for me. It's my memory of the thing. An ode to the Aprilia RSV1000R. I will take you for a little walk around the bike itself now. So here she is. It's in fairly standard condition. It's only got so it's got a Micron exhaust, carbon exhaust on there. It's only a slip-on. It's not a full system or anything. Now, having said that, for a slip-on, it's extremely noisy. Yeah, sounds good. I'll start it up for you in a moment, but you won't be able to hear me talk if I start it up now, so I'll do that in a second. As I said, it's one of the things I like about it is it's got all the good bits on it. So it's got the Marcassini, is it? Marches, I can't even say it, whatever they are, forged rims, and I love them in the gold. They look great. They are difficult to keep clean, to be fair, but when they're clean, they glisten and sparkle and are lovely. Öhlins front forks, which are nice because they're gold and shiny. Monoblock Brembos. I think this was one of the only, I think the 2003 was the only year that had those. This is basically like a Colin Edwards replica, but without the Colin Edwards signature on it. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, Aprilia. They probably ran out of ink in the pen or something, anyway. What else has it got? Lots of carbon fibre goodies. Actually, it's one of the things I've been a bit disappointed with some of the newer bikes. They seem to be coming out with less and less of this glorious, this stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm a bit of a carbon junkie. I do like my carbon. And this has lashings of it. Even inside here, I'll move around to the dash. So it's kind of this carbon shelf. It seems to serve no purpose other than to look nice. And then down here, there's more carbon through here. And the rear hugger even is full carbon. A somewhat faded Öhlins rear shock, but it is an older bike. It's done over 50,000 kilometres, so it's doing pretty well. And the Micron fruity exhaust, which is kind of mandatory if you've got a V-twin. Oh, I probably shouldn't show you my number plate. I don't suppose it matters, I'm selling it. There we go. So pretty standard, but then why would you change anything? So on the dash here, I shall just straddle my beast. Hold on. Where's the key? In my pocket. So it's a fairly typically Italian and uncomfortable riding position. The tank here, kind of somewhat bulbous around here. So if you've got a bit of a gut, that's not too comfortable. If you're built like a whippet, it's all right. I'm not built like a whippet, by the way. I still managed to cope. Turn the old keyboard lock off. One of the things I did like about it as a bike from the past is it's got digital stuff on it, which is pretty cool. It's got the analog tachometer, rev counter, and then you've got lots and lots of digital displays here. Having said that, it is incredibly complicated. The Italians have used absolutely no logic that I can work out to give you a user interface that actually works. So you've got buttons marked A, B, R, C, D, and I can never remember what any of them do. I have downloaded the user manual onto my phone, and anytime I want to do anything like adjust the clock, which is always wrong, I have to go back to the user manual because it's completely not intuitive. But that's okay, it does have some cool features in there. You can adjust the rev light, shifty rev thing, which by default I think sort of flashes at you about 8,000 revs. You can move that around so that it flashes at you whenever you want. It'll take a log of your highest top speed, so that you can terrify yourself down the back straight of your local racetrack and then afterwards see how brave you were. It's got a few other things as well. No fuel gauge though, just a fuel light, which is, yeah, fuel economy on this has not been great, but who cares, right? It's better than a car, so that's all right. There is a little bit of a knack to starting this thing. There's a little lever here. Ooh. It slides back and forth. It's not a choke, for those of you who remember what a choke was for carburetted motorcycles. It's a fast idle, and as I said, this is a high compression engine. It's important that you know how to start these things properly, otherwise you can flatten the battery. You really want to start it on the first go. And the trick to starting an RSV1000R is not to touch this thing. Do not touch the throttle. Go to your fast idle screw, turn it all the way on, and come over here and start it. And you'll hear the rumble of thunder now. So there you go. That's the knack to starting it. If you fail to do it on the first attempt, you will get another maybe 1 or 2 goes before the battery's flat, and then you're stranded. Unless you can bump start it, maybe, but you know that's unlikely with a V-twin if you're on your own. But once you've got your knack, it'll start first time every time, not a problem. So this is my baby. I'll start it up again now. I'll let it warm up, and then I will come back to you and rev it a little bit so you can hear what it sounds like. Probably won't sound the same on the camera, but you know, we'll give it a go. There we go. I'd love to give you a louder burst of it, but it'd be a bit antisocial, given that there are people I have to live next door to. Anyway, I hope you liked it. That was my bike. I say I hope you liked it. I didn't even do this video for you guys. I did it for myself. I know I liked it. Loved it. In fact, it's probably the sort of bike that in about 10 years' time, I'll look back on it fondly and go, I need to get myself another one of those. It was awesome. And I do wish that I didn't have to get rid of it, but I really can't justify keeping and running and paying for 2 sports bikes when I know that the new R1 is so much better than this, that I'll never ride this again once I'm on the R1. So, hence this. Thank you, Aprilia. It's been a magical 5 years. Really love you. And I hope the next owner gets as much enjoyment out of you as I did. So anyway, I just had a quick listen to that video, and I have to say it sounded crap. I was really surprised at how quiet the revving of the engine sounded. I always wondered why it's like that on YouTube. You know, you get these little video clips of people revving, you know, engine motorbike sound it's called, and then you listen to it and you go, what's that all about? Anyway, that's my video clip right now. So yeah, seriously, you get a lot more mechanical thrash coming through in the video than you hear in real life. There's a lot more rumble, and it's actually very, very loud. So apologies that didn't come across very well on video. It's too bad though. It's all I could do. I'm trying to do all this on an iPhone. All right, catch you later.